Hi. Hi, everybody. And when I say everybody, it's anyone who's going to watch this. I'm talking about my favorite topic today. Oh, the stories we tell ourselves. Hey, it's Sunday, and I'm in Los Angeles. On the West Coast, you're hearing great stories about the heat wave. And let's see, what is it right now? Oh, yeah, it's 79 degrees here in Los Angeles, 6 p.m. It did not get nearly as hot as it is up in the Pacific Northwest, where we're seeing temperatures of 100 degrees, although it looks like I'm dressed like it, isn't it? I'm still in my workout clothes from this morning. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm doing laundry right now. But this topic that I wanted to talk about, hey, Tom, good to see you too. And I got your message. I haven't written back. Let me just tell you, I'm not doing yoga as much right now. I'm doing Pilates. I'm doing a ton of Pilates right now. I love it. So this story, this topic around the stories we tell ourselves and the fact that we need to become better editors and writers of our story. And it came up because, I had a client a couple weeks ago who just had a litany of all the things they couldn't do and all the reasons why they couldn't do them and all the labels they gave themselves. And it was, as they were talking, I was just like, whoa, a little bit overwhelmed around all the things they could and couldn't do and all the labels they had put on themselves. And I was like, wow, these are some stories. And listen, as a coach, I realize that our personal stories are ways to keep us trapped. They're ways to keep us small. And oftentimes they are created from somewhere in our past. Someone, somewhere, family, friends, media, teachers, little moments that we interpret and make meaning of with a child's mind that can't make sense of what's really happening to us from an adult perspective. And so we carry these stories that are given to us and we create as a child into our adult life and then wonder why we struggle. We as humans are just meaning-making machines, which means we can have an objective experience. Someone breaks up with me. I got broken up with, right? So that's the experience. And then I make a meaning out of that. And those meanings could be things like, well, I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy of a relationship. All men are jerks. I'm never going to find a great person, right? And these stories reaffirm our beliefs of who we are and what we think we're capable of. And because of our propensity as humans to lean toward the negative, we all have a negativity bias, right? We usually make these stories about us all negative. And when we think about these stories, these really just reaffirm beliefs we have about who we are. And I love this. Dr. Nicole LePera in the book, How to Do the Work, she said it so clearly that our core beliefs are often just thoughts and stories that we let run rampant. And we don't stop and pause and edit these stories or think about a different way we can tell these stories to better serve us. When we think about the stories that we tell about ourselves, the reality is they create our world. We often feel stuck and trapped and insecure and angry and resentful based on our interpretation of events. The interpretation of events, not the events themselves. What the hell? And I can just hear someone out there right now, if you're watching this, or you're watching it later to say, Deanna, I'm not angry because of a story I'm telling myself. I'm angry about what happened to me. And please hear me out. I totally get it. I validate your emotions. Your anger is real. You are allowed to feel all of your feelings. And over time, the question becomes, does holding on to your anger serve you? Does continuing that story serve you? Is it ever time to go back and take a look at the stories you continue to tell about yourself to see if they need an edit? Because oftentimes we continue to tell stories about ourselves that keep us in victim mode instead of victor mode, instead of thinking about, who am I because of that experience? How am I better because of that experience? What did I learn from that experience? And once you realize you have full editorial control over the stories, well, then you can practice new creative ways of experiencing your life. And I think that is amazing. Now, listen, am I great at this all the time? No. Do I still have shitty first draft stories running through my life? Yes. Am I aware of all my stories? No, I'm not. That's why working with coaches can often help me. Doing my own work around my stories can often help me. Because the deal is, we write these stories about who we think we are, oftentimes so quickly, they become the first draft that we never go back and edit. I know that to be true every time I hear myself or a client say something like, I never finish projects, or I'm not a good writer, or I just don't handle money well. We label ourselves into a corner. And then what happens is we drag those old stories and we pack them into our proverbial life backpack. We put them on our back and we carry them into the future, thinking we want to create this new life. But how can we if we continue to bring these stories from our past into the future? Which is why we have to become better editors and storytellers. We need to do a better job of fact checking and rewriting. And I get it. I really do. It is so much easier to say that than to actually do it. Because we've had these stories on repeat. They've become part of our identity, and we can believe them to be true because they've been on repeat for so long. And so to let go of those stories, well, then who are we if we don't have those? But in that untethered space between not having a story and creating a new story, there is a world of possibilities, because we can take a moment and really do a better job of picking better facts, of looking up the landscape of our experiences and see that there are a multitude of other ways we can interpret our experience that could actually serve us in a much more powerful way, so that we can then tell our stories to ourselves in a much more powerful way. I love this topic so much because I love the stories we tell. Yeah. Tom just writes, I don't know if others understand what it is to be hurt or lied to. I think everyone understands hurt. Maybe unless you're talking about someone who's a narcissist or they can't have empathy, because they don't have to let go and are not accountable for what they've done. That sounds like a really specific experience, Tom. And I hear that. I really do. And the one thing I know for sure is within our stories, we have no power to change anybody else. All we have is the power to change ourselves and our stories. And if we can change ourselves and our stories so that they serve us better, so that we become more powerful in who we are, the strange thing is the world starts to react to us differently too. Because the world reacts to the stories we tell. And if we tell stories like, I can't write, I can't handle money, the world believes that as well. So this big topic around rewriting our stories is just something I'll probably talk about for the rest of my life, because I think it is such a powerful way to view our life, the understanding that we create our experience of our life. And yes, events happen to us that we have no control over. But how we tell the story about what happens to us is all within our power. Love this topic, my friends. That is Sunday night Facebook Live. I hope you have a great week. I'm headed off to Philadelphia this week for a quick vacation, Tuesday through Friday. I'm excited to see my friend Tamara. And so I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'm so glad you're here. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.